This is Planning, Zoning, and Historical Committee for May 5th, 2020. And before I call roll, Council Lady Stiles, do you have a motion to make?
Yes. In order to ensure consistency with Governor Lee's Executive Order number 16 regarding electronic meetings, I make a motion that this committee agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
Thank you. I'm seconding that. What we're going to do, as we've done in previous meetings, if there's anyone voting against this, please raise your hand or speak now.
Do we need to establish a quorum before we vote on this?
In the other committee, they had them do the amendment, the motion first. So I was doing the motion first, but I can do it either way.
In one committee I was in, they called roll first. But,
okay, we'll call roll. Just trying to get the trains moving since ITS
I gotcha.
is not being helpful today. So everyone unmute. Benedict.
Present.
Bradford. Cash.
Present.
Here.
Evans. Gamble.
Present.
Hager.
Present.
Paul. O'Connell. Parker.
Present.
Rutherford.
Here.
Giles.
Present.
Toombs.
Present.
Van Reese.
Present.
Welch. Withers.
Present.
As suspected, chair detects a quorum. There's a second on the motion. If you would like to vote no on the motion regarding virtual meetings and Executive Order 16, please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, the motion passes. We will move on to bills on public. What we're going to do is consent of what we're deferring one meeting. So item number 1, I'm going to bump that from the consent agenda and move it to the heel. Agenda to defer one meeting. Item number 2, substitute bill BL 2020-196. Declares a 120-day moratorium upon the issuance of a building and grading permits for multifamily developments on property within portions of the Antioch area and the Nashville, Davidson County. To item number 9 on your agenda. Rename the portion of Old Elm Hill Pike between McGavick Pike and Irmac Drive to Century. Item number 10 on your agenda, BL 2020-80, authorizes AEG MGM Nashville install, construct, and maintain. Is someone,
Chair.
if you could mute your background, mute your mics, please. So again, BL 2020-80 authorizes AEG MGM Nashville LLC to construct and maintain underground and aerial encroachments in the right-of-way of 913 Church Street. Okay, that is it for our consent one meeting agenda. Council Lady Stiles, would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. With that motion and second, if anyone would like to vote no on the consent agenda to defer one meeting for BL 2020-197, BL 2020-279, BL 2020-280. Speak now or raise your hand. Freddie, I see you.
Yes, I'd like to pull BL 2020-280, please.
Okay. All right. So that is pulled off the deferral meeting agenda. With that, we will, Freddie, will you unraise and unmute or remute?
Yep.
With that, if anybody would like to vote no, please raise your hand or speak now. Not seeing any hands, not hearing anything. That is our consent agenda to defer one meeting, and it passes. Moving to our consent agenda, if sponsors are present. And so, Council Lady Stiles, if you will help look at the participants and help me see if the sponsor is present. So, starting with resolution item number 4, resolution 2305, Rosenberg, Mendez, and others. Approves a railroad agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and the Metro Department of Public Works and CSX Transportation for resurfacing and safety upgrades.
Move approval.
Okay, we're on consent agenda, so I'm gonna read them all and then we'll come back.
Sorry about that.
Item number 6, BL 2020-232. O'Connell, Murphy, and Henderson abandons a portion of alley number 146 right-of-way from Lafayette Street to Elm Street. Item number 7, Murphy and Henderson abandons existing public sanitary sewer mains and easements and to accept new water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assembly, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 4317 Harding Pike. Item number 8 on your agenda, BL 2020-278, Benedict, Mendez, and others, approves a lease agreement between the Metro government and City Road Chapel United Methodist Church for office space at 701 Gallatin Pike South, Madison, Tennessee. Moving to item 11 on your agenda, BL 2020-281, Rutherford, Murphy, Henderson, accepts new sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located north of Burkett Place Drive and east of Nolensville Pike in Williamson County, also known as Burkett Commons Phase 2. Item number 12 on your agenda, BL 2020-282, Bradford, Murphy, Henderson, abandons existing public water mains, easements for property located at 1 Terminal Drive. Item number 13, BL 2020-283, Van Reese, Murphy, and Henderson, abandons existing water mains and to accept new public water main and fire hydrant assembly for property located at 600 Creative Drive. Item number 14 on your agenda, BL 2020-284, negotiates and accepts permanent and temporary easements for the Del Mar Drive Stormwater Improvement Project for 4 properties located at 1333, nope, not 1333, 1334, 1335, 1328, 1338 Del Mar Drive and 4101 Del Mar Court. Those are your items on consent for approval. Does Freddie, I am seeing your hand up. Would you like to bump something?
Yeah. Yes, I would like to pull BL 2022. Oh, am I not muted? Hang on, sorry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I want to BL 2020-232 from consent, please.
All right. So, Freddie, put your hand down if you will. Council Lady Van Reese.
Yes, I would like item 283 to remain on consent, but just a matter of clarity. You said 600 Creative Drive, and that's Creative Way. So I just wanted, for the record, just to be clear on the street name. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Council Lady. Anyone else? Council Lady Van Reese, please put your hand down. Okay. Thank you, Council Lady Van Reese. All right. With that, that is your consent agenda to approve. If you would like to vote against the consent agenda to approve, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none, hearing none, we will approve the consent agenda to approve. Hope that was clear as mud. Starting at the top of our agenda, we have second substitute bill BL 2019-48. And with this, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to defer one meeting. Council Lady Stiles, if you will second, and then we will go to Councilman Rosenberg.
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Rosenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill has been delayed for some time, ironically, because everyone's in their homes working and have been ordered to do so. This is a trying time, and this delay is not among the top impacts, but I hope that some of the alarmists with respect to this bill have had the opportunity to recognize that while the sky may be falling, it's not due to people working at home. And this bill has just become a very critical tool now for individuals as businesses, as we see businesses struggle and families struggling. So, you know, I'd like to see how the public hearings work this first time before trying to have a countywide public hearing electronically. So we're going to move the public hearing to June 9th. And I'll leave it to the committee as to whether you'd like to consider this next meeting in advance of that public hearing or defer to that June 9th meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for that explanation, Councilman Rosenberg. I will revise my motion to defer this to the June 9th meeting. Council Lady Stout, I guess so what I'm doing is I am I am just going to modify my previous motion. And so Council Lady Styles, if for good measure, you will just second the modified motion to move this to June 9th.
Second.
Thank you, Council Lady Styles. With that, if anyone would like to vote no on moving this to the June 9th hearing, please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, seeing none. Item number 1, second substitute BL 2019-48 is deferred to the June 9th meeting. Shoot, do we have staff on here? Should that have been moved to the meeting after it so we could hit the public hearing and then so Hannah?
I believe June 9th is the public.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
June 9th is the public hearing, so we really should.
No, that's right.
Meeting. Hannah, what would be the meeting after?
The June 9th meeting is the correct meeting. That's the next. That's the next zoning public hearing.
Right. So I would like this to be considered in committee after the public hearing. So what is the meeting after June 9th?
Hang on, let me pull up the calendar. That should be June 16th.
All right, thank you. So committee, what we're gonna do, and I'm sorry, by slowing down. So I'm gonna move to rescind our previous action on BL 2019-48. Council Lady Styles, do you second that?
I'll second that, yes.
Thank you. Council Lady Welch, is this to make a motion or a comment on the bill?
It's actually just, I'm confused. Am I missing something on the calendar that our next meeting would be in June would be June 2nd? That would actually be the first Tuesday?
We're having a public hearing for zoning matters on June 9th.
Thank you for the clarification.
Right. No. We have lots of meeting dates rolling around right now, so no worries. Council Lady Benedict, is this on the, to make a motion or is this on the bill?
This is on the bill. Thank you, Chair.
We are not, we are just, we're not discussing the bill. We're just rescinding our action to defer it.
Okay.
Thank you for your understanding. We should just discuss it all at once. Council Lady Van Rees.
Yeah, I just have a point of order for clarity. If by moving this to the second meeting in June, it will be discussed at third reading overall, because I believe it's Mr. Rosenberg's intent for it to be on second reading public hearing. So I'm not sure whether or not that makes sense to move it beyond that, because we'd actually be discussing on third reading at that point. Am I correct?
So I guess what we'll do, here's the thinking in moving this to the meeting after the public hearing is because we want to discuss it in committee, and the public hearing takes place after we have committee. And so Councilman Rosenberg, we have clarity or assurances from you that you will not move this on second reading until after our committee has considered it. Have we lost Councilman Rosenberg? I'm not seeing him on the list. Oh, I see you.
I stepped away. What's going on, Council Lady?
So I'm slowing down because I was moving too fast, and I apologize for that. So by moving your bill, deferring it to June 9th, that puts us on public hearing night. So that means that we would be still discussing this before the public hearing. And so can we have a commitment from you? So what we're doing is we're going to defer the bill to the meeting after the public hearing. So that way it will be discussed in committee after the public hearing. And so can we have a commitment from you that you will hold it on second reading, so we can discuss it on second reading in this committee after the public hearing?
The second reading will occur on the floor immediately following the public hearing.
I think
June 9th.
Council Lady Van Reese was asking if this would stay on second reading for our discussion. Anna, do you?
No,
I'm sorry. I'll be deferring tonight, so it will be on second reading when it comes back to committee on June 9th.
that's what I understand as well. I was asking for clarity. That's why I believe that this should stay in this committee for the 9th, prior to, just like it would have been today in normal circumstances.
It stays on the 9th, and I'm going to ask Hannah to clarify this. If it stays on the 9th, then we're still going to have it before us before we hear public hearing.
If you keep it on the 9th, the meeting will occur before the public hearing. Now, keep in mind, I believe that this is the second public hearing. I believe that a public hearing has been held, and then this will be an additional public hearing. But that's correct. The planning committee meeting will occur before the next public hearing if you defer this until June 9th.
Council Lady Van Reese, do you have further concerns about it proceeding on second reading?
No, I had no concerns. I was offering clarity that if passed at second reading on June the 9th, it will be on third and final reading the second week in June, second meeting in June. I was just offering that clarity. I'm fine with it going to the 9th per Mr. Rosenberg's request.
Okay. So I believe that we have already rescinded that action, so we can just remake that motion if no one has issue with it to go to June 9th. I'm not seeing any more hands, so I will remake the motion to move this to June 9th. Council Lady Stiles.
I second the motion.
Thank you. If anyone would like to vote against that or has further questions, raise your hand or speak now. With that, it is moved to June 9th. Moving to resolutions, RS 2020-255. Do we have Council Lady Vercher on the call? I do not see here. I will move this to the heel. Moving on to bills on second reading, item number 5 on your agenda, BL 2020-127 by Councilman Hall. Councilman Hall, are you on the call? I do not see you. I will move that to the heel. Moving on to item number 7, BL 2020-24. Oh, I'm sorry. We've already passed that on agenda. Moving on to bills on third reading, item number 15 on your agenda, substitute BL 2019.
Madam Chair, just real quick point of information. I pulled BL 2232 off of consent, so we might want to consider that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I passed it already in my book. Okay, so BL 2020-232, and just a side note and quip that hopefully ITS, we can work together to make this a whole lot easier for next time. So, Councilman O'Connell, BL 2020-232 abandons a portion of right-of-way abandons a portion of alley number 146 right-of-way from Lafayette Street to Elm Street. Councilman O'Connell for motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move for a 1 meeting deferral, please.
Okay. Council Lady Stiles.
I second the motion.
Thank you. We will now be voting on whether to defer this one meeting. If you would like to vote against deferring this one meeting, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none, hearing none, this bill BL 2020-232 is deferred one meeting. Okay, moving on to bills on third reading. Substitute, item number 15 on your agenda, substitute bill BL 2019-78 by Councilman Sledge, amends the Metro Code to impose a minimum distance requirement for new short-term rental properties, non-owner occupied, from churches, schools, daycares, and parks. Councilman Sledge, are you on? You are not. So I'm going to make a motion for approval. Council Lady Stiles.
Second?
Thank you. Councilman Sledge, would you like to add any remarks about your bill before I move to the committee?
Yes, Chair. I would just request a one meeting deferral of the committee. We are just working out logistics on meeting with stakeholders, and I think I can get it done in the next couple weeks.
All right. With that, I will redo my motion, which is I will move this for one meeting deferral. Council Lady Stiles.
I second the motion.
Thank you. With that, if anybody would like to vote against deferring this bill one meeting, please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, seeing none, that is a one meeting deferral for BL 2019-78. Moving on to item number 16 on our agenda, BL 2020-117, Sledge O'Connell Henderson, amends the Metro Code of Laws relative to parking requirements on multimodal corridors. I'll make a motion. Council Lady Stiles.
I second.
Thank you. Councilman Sledge, would you like to speak on your bill before I go to the committee?
Yes, Madam Chair. I believe there's a substitute actually on this one. I'll wait for the motion on that.
Okay.
So moved.
All right. Thank you, Councilman O'Connell. Council Lady Stiles.
I second.
Thank you. And I guess I need clarification because in the amendment packet I have, wait, no, that's the wrong one. Is the substitute in the amendment packet?
Yes, it should be. I'll pull it up myself too.
I thought I double checked and did not see one because I had one down and then I couldn't find it. Was there a second packet that went out, Hannah?
This is on page 36 of the amendments packet. Page 36, it's the last item in the amendments packet.
Oh, it always helps to check the back page. I am so sorry about that. So there is a substitute ordinance for BL 2020-117, item number 16 on your agenda. So with that, I'm going to make a motion on substitute to have it properly in front of us. Council Lady Stiles.
I second the motion.
Thank you. To get this properly before us, if anyone would like to vote against the substitute, please raise your hand or speak now. See none, hearing none. Councilman Sledge, if you will explain your substitute and your ordinance as amended.
Yes.
Or as substitute.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair. And I see Lisa's on the call, so I will ask her to, because the substitute comes from planning, so I'll ask her to more accurately sum that up. But the intent of the bill as substituted is essentially to encourage us to build on our corridors housing instead of housing for people, essentially, instead of housing for cars, for parking. So it essentially extends the elimination of parking minimums that we have in the DTC to our corridors within the UZO, and that is part of the substitute. So in essence, if you think of our major corridors like Dickerson or Gallatin, Murfreesboro, Nolensville, et cetera, it would eliminate the parking minimum. Now, that doesn't mean that people wouldn't build parking. They will still build parking when they need it, but right now in the code, we have parking minimums that are discouraging essentially folks from building additional housing units. And this is following the example of essentially cities across the country that range in size from cities like Buffalo to cities like Minneapolis or other cities like Los Angeles. So with that, I might suggest, Chair, that Lisa can give a little bit of explanation on the substitute addresses frontage to corridors and which properties qualify for that, and that was based on planning.
All right, we'll go to Lisa Milligan with the Planning Department. Lisa, if you'll introduce yourself, and then we'll go back to the committee for any questions, comments.
Certainly. Hi, this is Lisa Milligan with Metro Planning Department. The substitute, as recommended by the Planning Commission, included two separate things. The first, Councilman's pledge explained, which had to do with limiting this allowance for exemption to only those areas within the urban zoning overlay, or UZO. Additionally, it adds a standard to indicate that this only applies to a lot or parcel that has the majority of its frontage on the multimodal corridor. And so essentially what this does is that it keeps us from having, if there's a lot that has if there's a corner lot that has a very small amount of frontage along the corridor and the majority of its corridor along, the majority of its frontage along a local street, it would make that one not be, it would make this not be applicable to that lot. And so it's just tightening it up a little bit to make sure that it really only applies to those that are, have their frontage along the corridor. And so those were the two changes that came out of the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Ms. Milligan. We will go to committee members now. Council Lady Van Rees.
Yes, I just wanted to speak as we continue community discussions in District 8 on the expansion of the UZO. That this was explained in an early community meeting with the Maplewood neighbors. We'll continue that discussion as we look into that expansion. But this should be of no surprise to the folks on Gallatin Pike as we continue that. And I offer my support.
Any comments on the bill as substituted? Council Lady Van Rees, if you will put your hand down if you are done commenting. Thank you. So with that, we have moved approval of substitute. Council Lady Stiles is seconded. So if anyone is against the substitute passing on third and final consideration, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none, hearing none, the substitute is passed. And I will go back to, we have two bills that we rolled to the heel.
Madam Chair, I had also Bill 2022-80 that I had pulled deferral consent agenda.
Gotcha. Let me do these two heel bills real quick to see if they are here.
Sure.
Do we have Council Lady Birch? I'm looking and I do not see.
She's not present.
She is not present. So, Council Lady, Council Lady Stiles, would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
Well, we've got to make a motion. I believe in Public Works, this was deferred indefinitely. Was anyone in Public Works and can confirm that motion? Hannah Zeitler?
Yes, that is true.
Okay, perfect. So with that, I'm going to make a motion for indefinite deferral. Council Lady Stiles.
I will second that motion.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any hands to speak. So with that, if anyone would like to vote against the indefinite Deferral, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none, hearing none, Resolution RS 2020-255 is indefinitely deferred. Now, item number 5, BL 2020-127 by Councilman Hall. Do we have Councilman Hall here? Okay, with that, I'm going to make a motion that we defer this one meeting by rule. Lady Styles.
Second it.
Thank you. If anyone would like to vote against that deferral, please raise your hand or speak now. Seeing none, hearing none, the BL 2021-27 is deferred one meeting. Now, Councilman O'Connell, I'm sorry that I had forgotten item number 10. So item number 10 is BL 2020-280. It authorizes AEG MGM Nashville LLC to install, construct, maintain an underground aerial encroachments in the right-of-way of 913 Church Street. Councilman O'Connell, you are on the committee and you will make a motion, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of the brief comment.
Let's get that seconded, Council Lady Styles.
Second.
Thank you. Back to Councilman O'Connell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This one had a good staff report in Public Works, and I'm comfortable moving forward with it rather than deferring. So I will renew my motion to approve.
Thank you. With that, motion is properly before us. So if anybody would like to speak on this item, raise your hand. See none. If anybody would like to vote against moving this for approval, please raise your hand or speak now. Hearing none, seeing none, item is approved. And if everybody wants to just triple check my count, I think that we have covered everything on our agenda. I will remind y'all to please remind your colleagues that if they get their letters in early, we can have more effective consent agendas. With that, that will be the end of, I will entertain a motion to conclude planning, zoning, and historical for May 5th. Council Lady Styles.
So moved.
Thank you. If anyone would like to vote against, you're welcome to now.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.